So, when you hear the name Rolex, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Probably luxury, right? Success, incredible engineering. It's just an icon. But what if I told you the real story behind it is one of the most surprising, most unexpected you'll ever hear?
I mean, today, we're talking about a brand worth a staggering $8 billion. It's a global titan, a symbol of quality that's recognized absolutely everywhere. You'd probably think a company this legendary was born from old money, right? Or maybe a long line of famous Swiss watchmakers. But honestly, that couldn't be further from the truth.
The crazy thing is, this multi-billion-dollar empire was built from scratch by a young boy who had lost everything. And his name was Hans Wilsdorf.
See, to really get Rolex, you have to understand the immense hardship that forged the man who created it. Hans Wilsdorf was born in Germany back in 1881, but his entire world just collapsed when his mother passed away, and then only a year later, his father died too. Just like that, at only 12 years old, he was an orphan. His uncles came in, sold off the family business, and shipped him and his siblings off to boarding school.
But here's the thing. That tragedy, which could have easily broken him, actually built him. You can hear it in his own words. Wilsdorf said that being forced to rely on himself so early was the very foundation of his success. It taught him to value and protect what he had, and that lesson would end up shaping everything he ever did.
So, after he finished his education and started working in the watch industry, Wilsdorf didn't just see gears and dials, he saw the future. And he was certain that future was not in people's pockets. To really get how big his idea was, you have to picture the world back then, in the early 1900s. For men, pocket watches were the whole deal. They were seen as accurate, masculine, reliable. And wristwatches? Most people dismissed them as flimsy, inaccurate pieces of jewelry for women. But Wilsdorf found pocket watches to be a total pain. He just knew there had to be a better way.
His foresight was just incredible. I mean, get this. As early as 1914, he made this incredibly bold prediction. Everyone else was looking at the pocket, but Wilsdorf, he was betting the farm on the wrist.
Okay, so he's got this powerful vision, this obsession with quality. What's next? He sets out to build his own company, a brand that would become the embodiment of perfection. It starts in 1905. He founds a company called Wilsdorf and Davis in London. The goal was simple, but for the time, it was revolutionary. Make a wristwatch that was just as dependable as a pocket watch. Then in 1908, he nails the name. He wanted something short, something easy to say no matter what language you spoke, and something that looked elegant on a watch face. He said he tried hundreds of combinations of letters, and then one day it just came to him: Rolex.
But this wasn't just about making watches. No, his mission was a direct attack on the biggest weakness of the wristwatch of the time, its reputation for being inaccurate. Wilsdorf was absolutely determined to prove everybody wrong by getting his wristwatches chronometer certified, which is the highest possible standard for precision.
He got the precision he was after, for sure. But his next move, this is what made the brand a legend. It wasn't just about accuracy anymore. It was about toughness, all thanks to one of the greatest marketing stunts in history. In 1926, Rolex drops the Oyster, and this thing was a total game changer. It had a hermetically sealed case, which basically meant that for the first time ever, the delicate guts of a watch were safe from things like water and dust. But, how do you prove something like that to the world?
Well, Wilsdorf found the perfect, and I mean perfect, opportunity a year later. A young English swimmer, her name was Mercedes Gleitz, was about to try to swim the English Channel. Wilsdorf saw his chance and gave her a brand new Rolex Oyster to wear for the attempt.
Just think about that for a second. Mercedes Gleitz was in the freezing cold water for over 10 hours. It was this incredible test of human endurance, and an even crazier test for a tiny little machine on her wrist. The world was watching.
And the result? While Gleitz couldn't complete the swim, the cold was just too much. The Rolex Oyster came out of that brutal water ticking perfectly, like nothing had even happened. Wilsdorf immediately took out a full-page ad in a London newspaper to celebrate. Just like that, overnight, Rolex became a household name around the world.
And that huge success with the Oyster, that wasn't the finish line. Nope, it was just the starting gun for this incredible era of innovation, where Rolex pretty much invented the modern watch as we know it.
It was just this boom, boom, boom series of firsts. In 1931, they invented the self-winding perpetual movement. In 1945, they gave us the date chest, the first watch to automatically change the date. 53 brought the iconic Submariner, a true diver's watch. Then in 56, the Date 8. I mean, think about it. So many features we just assume a watch has today were actually pioneered by Rolex.
So Hans Wilsdorf built this absolute empire on precision, durability, and a vision no one else had. But the most remarkable part of his story might just be what he did with that empire in the end.
Which brings up a really interesting question. Who actually owns this massive private company? You'd think it's a long line of Wilsdorf heirs, maybe some grandkids enjoying the fortune. Well, you'd be wrong.
And here it is, the most unbelievable part of this entire story. After his wife died in 1944, Hans Wilsdorf transferred his entire 100% ownership of Rolex to a private foundation he created. That means Rolex today is owned by a charitable trust. The company can never be sold, it can never go public, and its profits are used to support social and environmental causes all over the world.
So, the next time you see a Rolex, think about this. Is it just a luxury watch? A simple symbol of having made it? Or is it something more? A testament to an orphan boy who started with nothing, and with nothing but his own sheer will, not only changed an entire industry, but then turned his incredible success into a permanent force for good.